Good morning and happy 2019. Today is, I don't know, it's the end of March, and today I'm going to be hiking Mount Sherman. For a full hike review of Mount Sherman in the winter, you can check the link below. So first, right off the bat, before any hardos start telling me it's March, it's not winter, it is. You can take a look around here, and it's full-blown snow conditions. I am not even at the lower trailhead because the road is just completely unpassable. So I've been snowshoeing here for about 4.5 miles, and so that's going to add about 13 miles onto this hike. So it's a kind of a good point to make because people always ask me what are the easier 14ers, and Mount Sherman I would consider probably the easiest one. However, conditions obviously dictate that. What should be a 5-ish mile hike is being turned now into probably closer to 18. So that's obviously a massive difference. I do have my snowboard here today. So Mount Sherman is a really good peak if you're kind of getting into splitboarding or skiing and you want to dabble in kind of backcountry while still being somewhat controlled and safe. The reason I say that is because the winter route basically avoids all avalanche prone terrain. Obviously, you need to be very careful. Check the forecast before you come out. Today it's low and there's some fresh snow, so hopefully that'll be nice. But yeah, also, I apologize for my haggard beard. I've obviously been hiking for a while, so you'll just have to deal with that today. What's really awesome about off-season hiking is that there's like just no one here most of the time. Sherman's probably, I'd say, top 5 most popular in terms of foot traffic. 14er in the state, but because it's winter, I mean, look around me. There's just no one here today. Up into the upper basin here, here's a good look at basically your remaining path. So that right there is Sheridan. That right there is Sherman. And you can see like the line I'm going to take down is like to the left of my finger. So there, then come over. Looks good for snow. In the summer, if you're coming here, your standard route would basically be straight up there. Obviously, well, not obviously, that terrain is more prone to avalanches, and you can't make it out on this camera, but you could see a couple signs of wet slides because there's a huge cornice at the top of it. So that's why in the winter you go this way and then to the top. It's a little more direct, and because the snow fills in all the loose gravel that would otherwise be there in the summer, you're able to do that route. This is the junction you're gonna look for. It's kind of hard to tell what the hell is what, but there's essentially this going to be like this line. You might see that old mining tower. Where is it? Somewhere. I'm covering it. And then you're going to bear right and kind of follow this drainage all the way up and then eventually work your way left. In the summer, you'll be able to drive to this point. You know, most cars would. And there's a gate that's kind of like right there. It's probably buried now with all the snow. But that's the way you'd go to start the standard summer route. So I've continued up from the last check-in and just basically headed right. From here, there's a ton of different ways. I think I'm gonna try to stay on this rock for a bit, ride that up, and then just go straight up. And then right there is where your crossover is gonna be. It's kind of where the least amount of snow is. And then Sherman's like a false summit. That's the false summit. The real summit is like over yonder. It's real hot out today for being 20 degrees, which I don't buy for 1 second. It was supposed to snow this afternoon, which is kind of why I picked today to cool off and have some fresh conditions on the way down. But yeah, it's not snowing. I'm sweating my ass off. Oh man, I'm dead. This hike is pushing me mentally right now. As you can see, the weather has drastically changed, which I knew was going to happen. Doesn't make it any more fun. visibility on the way down is going to be just shit. It's going to be like Carve City, which sucks because the whole time I was looking forward to snowboarding down this. So where I'm at right now is basically on the saddle of this mountain over here. I don't know what the hell it's called. It's covered in friggin' snow anyway. And Sherman is like right up there. Yeah, it's honestly like I would turn around at this point if this was summer and these were clouds, because they just look terrible. These are clouds obviously, but if these were like thunderstorm clouds, but I know it's winter, I know it's just snow, and at this point I'm so close, I'm just being stubborn. And I know that I can get myself down snowboarding wise. Hey, can you guys see anything? Oh cool, me either. That's awesome. We're very close to the summit. The ridgeline is there, and summit is like right over this hump right here. So basically, so kind of frame things, and the sun's coming out, which is awesome. So that's looking back kind of at where you came from, and then next up, so you kind of want to bear left, but not too far, because if you go too far left, you're going up steep terrain you don't need to. We're here, you kind of skirt around it, and then summit's right over chair. All right, on top of Mount Sherman. I'll keep it short and sweet since the camera's probably going to die. Give you some views. This one was a struggle for sure. To the summit, 8.88 miles from the extended trailhead, and that took me 2 days. That's what it felt like. I'll definitely give some more notes on this one when I get down, but I'm just trying to get out of this weather for now, and you know, enjoy some of the turns before the visibility gets too bad. So what I will say at this point is that you definitely need at least microspikes, probably crampons for this, depending on the snow level, because even with my strap-on crampons, which are not top of the line, I was having some trouble digging into some of the steep ice. But yeah, I'll give you tons more notes once we get down, but for now, enjoy the views. Man, it's so funny. I was like hating this so much on the way up, and all it takes is like 2 minutes of some good boarding, and it just is all made up for. The light is actually working out pretty well right now. You can take a look, see everything around me. You can see that big cornice I was talking about earlier. It's like right here. So that'd be pretty gnarly to hike or snowboard. Yeah, it's not the cleanest snow in the world. But I'm just so happy that like I can actually see. I was kind of anticipating to have to really just carve tiny little cars until I got much lower and I could have some better perspective. So the sun's working out, weather's working out so far. So the top was super windy, obviously, but there was no one up there. Obviously, I haven't seen a person all day. The views were pretty good. This is a hard-ass hike in the winter, I have to tell you. It's something that, you know, 2 miles, whatever it is, 4 miles round trip in the summer, it's like, oh yeah, and this is a good intro. But that extra road, and I have to deal with it still on the way out, is really tough. So really excited to have good snow and visibility so far. I would say that if you're kind of getting into winter hiking, whether it be snowboarding down or not, this is a really I would say moderate to harder peak, although the snow conditions are prime. Like, you don't have to really worry about avalanche like I mentioned earlier. Obviously check it, but it's not a high avalanche prone area. You can kind of see back out where we came from, which is basically there and then through the valley. Hopefully get some more good turns in. For those of you who are wondering what the road looks like, when I was saying that there was extra 13 miles because the road was closed, this will give you an idea. It's packed, so I'm using my snowshoes, but it's definitely not passable. Whew. All right, finally back at the car after almost 17 miles of hiking today, a little bit more than I had originally signed up for. I would say that this hike is totally dependent on the road. If you can get further down the road, it's not a bad little intro to winter hiking or skiing, snowboarding, backcountry, whatever. If you can't, it's gonna be a bitch. I spent about 10 hours hiking today, which is pretty crazy considering how this is one of the easier 14ers. In terms of gear, I brought snowshoes today. I didn't end up really needing them, but that would definitely depend on like the softness of the snow. For me, it was pretty cold today, so it wasn't 100% necessary, but I actually did need crampons. I don't think micro spikes would have cut it, so I'm glad I had those. Dogs, this would be fine for dogs, summer and winter, if your dog was good off the leash, obviously, for winter. So I'm gonna wrap up this hike today. I'm ready to go have a couple beers and relax. But yeah, for all my future hikes, you could follow me on Instagram. That link is below. And be sure to subscribe to the channel not to miss any future hikes. I'll be posting a ton of new stuff this year. I really appreciate all the support as well. I know we've grown the channel to about 460, 470 subscribers, so thank you to all you guys, and really looking forward to a great season. See you next time.